Let's check in with Tina Dixon for an update about Simon.
Well, after Simon's first run, he seemed a little disappointed with that score, thought he wanted more. In fact, he was already talking about adding more rotations to his second run, including a switch 1260 on the bottom. But one of his friends made a good point, saying, you know, you went in the middle of the pack. The judges are just leaving room for the other riders. But guys, we'll just have to see if he steps it up this time.
Thanks, Tina. I think that's exactly what happened. I mean, he went huge. He had all 5 hits, and they did. They didn't leave enough room. Now Simon Dumont has to put yet another amazing run to now pass Jossi Wells at 92.5.
It's true. In prelims, Peter Olenek was saying Simon is skiing better than he's ever skied in a Superpipe. There's the right side 9. Moving now into the double. Look at that, well to his feet. Second to last hit, the alley-oop 720 lands it down into the bottom.
This is it.
Switch 720 to his feet.
Well, they give it to him. 2 amazing runs from Simon Dumont. And remember, even if he gets a second place finish here today, he's got that 90 points looking at the overall Duke Cup.
He does. Look at the size of that. Look at the people standing on the pipe wall. Average of around 5'11", I would say, and he's just way above them. And here's a look at the double flip, carrying like 2 full lines down the pipe.
Who else is doing a double that big?
I haven't seen anyone in the field so far. Here's the alley-oop 720, and right here is where he did a switch 10 in the first run. This time slows it down to a switch 7, but Jossi Wells only did a switch 7 at the bottom.
That brings up a great discussion when you compare Jossi Wells' rotations and Simon Dumont's rotations on their first runs. Simon had him, and he had him on the height factor. So it's you know, it's very subjective. It comes down to style. There's Jossi Wells waiting up top. He'll have a chance to rebut. And there, 91.38. Only good enough for second. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Luke.
You know
what? Before we get to that, let's check in with Tina Dixon. She's down at the bottom of the pipe. Tina?
Simon. He's walking away, guys. He's a little disappointed right now.
Okay, thanks, Tina. As you might imagine, I mean,
right.
He spoke with the judges. He listened to what they were saying at the first stop, and he came back and he delivered that. Do you think they're judging Simon against Simon?
There's a chance that's happening. We've seen that a lot in action sports. I mean, you brought up like Kelly Slater and friends. Sometimes those guys that have won so much, sometimes they get judged against themselves a little bit.
Okay, let's go to Tina. Tina?
Well, Simon, after the second run, you change it up there at the bottom, but what's your thoughts on those score?
The second score I'm fine with. I don't really know how I scored higher with my second run when my first run was the best run I've pretty much thrown at Dew Tour, and I didn't think I was really going to get beat, but got beat pretty easily. A little bummed. So whatever, I guess we'll go to the next one. And
Jossi Wells gets ready on his run here. What can we expect to see from Jossi?
We can expect to see an explosive run. He's one of the athletes who's doing a double flip on the 3rd hit as opposed to opening his run with it. He's got a big switch hit that he's been doing down below, back-to-back 900s. This should be interesting.
And we want to just remind everyone, got second at the first stop, so a contender for the Duke Cup.
So far, so good. Starting off back-to-back 900s. Here's where we'll see the double flip, putting it down, back and in. Has been focusing on a slope style, but has not rusted up his Superpipe game whatsoever. One last hit, alley-oop flat spin 540. Bit of a rewind. Jossi Wells, the New Zealand local, just putting it together. The stallion.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him crack into the top 3 on that. Just on what he was running back to back on each wall, the combinations.
Have a look at the amplitude on that 900. Back to back into this 9, leaves the grab for the very end, tickles it there. And here's a look at Jossi Wells' double flip. Looking for the grab there, pulling his knees in tight, gymnast style, and putting that down to his feet. Very well executed. Here's the switch 720, grabbing Japan and then pikes it out, leaves the skis behind, showing just a new level of comfort, I would say, into the alley-oop flat spin, same sort of program there, tossing in a bit of buttery style. Jossi Wells.
Now think about this, he got a second place, right there, 92.5. I was about to talk about previous results, but let's talk about his current standing right now.
Jossi, last season, second in Breckenridge, and then earlier this season, a second place. But you had some injuries along the way. Just what does it feel like now to finish on top?
Oh, this feels great. I feel on top of the world right now. I couldn't be more stoked. Got the adrenaline pumping. Yeah, today went really well. I just, my first run stomped down a good run that I was really happy with, and that seemed to hold it all the way through. So yeah, I couldn't be more happy.